Hi everyone, so welcome to today's video. Thank you so much for being here. This is going to be the second part of my Best in Beauty video. This week we're focusing on the Best in Beauty for eyes for 2023. So today is going to be a tutorial showing you my favorite palette of the year in action to do a look that is so me, very quick, very easy, everyday kind of look. I'm also going to talk you through my brow routine because I did include brows in the eye category just because I felt like it's just around the eye area, so I figured why not include it in this video versus my complexion video that went up last week that was more of my face products. So we're do brows, which is not my favorite part of my routine, but I'm going to show you what I use and talk you through a quick demo on that. Then we're going to move into the tutorial for this eye look, and then this look that you're seeing here is everything completely pulled together. So if you want to see how to do the brows and the eyes, then just continue watching. I like to start off with the spoolie end of my brow pencil. This is the Precisely My Brow from Benefit. I switched over to shade 3.5. I was using 3, which works. 4 is great too. It's a little bit deeper, but I think 3.5 is where it's at for me. This has a very small point, so it helps with precision, and it actually does look really soft in the brows. So I like to just start after combing my brows through, just going in small little strokes to fill in my entire brow area. I do personally like a fuller brow look, so this does take a lot of time in my routine. It's my least favorite thing, as I've mentioned before. I'm not a fan of doing eyebrows, and I'm just going to show you just a little bit so you can kind of get the gist of this pencil, but it is really, really nice to fill in the brows pretty quickly. And then once I have it filled, I do like to spoolie one more time before going in with my next product. And this actually is a drugstore favorite. It's the NYX Lift and Snatch. This is the Brow Tint Pen. I have the shade called Brunette, and it's a really great match. It basically looks like a liquid liner, but it's meant for the brows. And I like to just do little tiny hair strokes, very lightly, just kind of lightly grazing my skin with the tip of the brush applicator, to get the lightest, most minimal amount of product possible, because I already have a full filled in brow with the pencil. This is just going to go in and sort of add a brow hair effect where there isn't a hair. I have some bald spots, some areas that don't grow back, and the shape of my brows is not exactly the same on both brows. So I do use this pen every single day to help fill in the little gaps. And then I do take my beauty sponge that's slightly dampened and use it to clean up. I also use like a concealer brush, but that kind of gives you an idea of the brow look that I like. A very full, very structured brow. You can see the difference between this one that we did together. Obviously there's no setting gel yet, which will come next, but this is what my brow looks like without anything. It's a huge difference. Like, it changes the look of the face just that on its own. So I'm gonna do this other brow, and then we're moving on to the eye look for the day. Then I like to set everything with a good brow gel. This has been a favorite of mine. This is probably the second year that I've mentioned the Too Faced Fluff and Hold Laminating Brow Wax. This is what I've been using until I discovered this NYX Brow Glue. This is just a clear version that I have been using, and I've used this pretty consistently, and I actually do like it. So I'm going to use the NYX one today, and I like the small little spoolie. It's super, super tiny, and I just kind of comb my brows upwards, and then the tail and the arch goes kind of over a little bit. And then I always go back in with my spoolie or my brow pencil and do one last comb to make sure everything is evenly distributed, assess what I've got, and we'll go back in with my pen if I see some spots that I feel like could use a little bit more of a shape, then I will go back and do that. Now we move on to eyeshadow, and I'm going to do a very simple, quick look today for the eyes. So I'm going to start with my MAC Painterly Paint Pot. This is the primer that I use. Painterly is a soft, light pink. It is matte, and I use my finger to apply this product all over my lids from inner corner to outer corner, and then I blend it up towards the crease, not so much towards the brow bone, but just through the crease area, which is where most of the creasing tends to happen. Would this be a Best in Beauty for eyes without using my beloved I Need a Nude palette from Natasha Denona? This has been the best eyeshadow palette released, in my opinion, for 2023. So we're going to use it today because this video would not be right if I didn't. So to set the actual primer, I'm going to go in with the shade called Fair from this palette. And it's just that. It's a fair tone. It's matte. And this is going to help with blending later. So I will take a little bit of that all over. I will be switching to a BK Beauty 212 crease brush to start defining my crease. And I'm going to go in with the shade called Mesh, which is at the bottom of the palette, the last row. And it's the second to last eyeshadow. And this is a matte, light, kind of pebbly stone gray type of shade. It's a very cool tone, but it actually doesn't look so cool tone when it goes on. It's a very, very unique shade for me. Once I have that color applied into my crease, I'm just going to continue blending with no additional product and really working that back and forth to soften out those edges. For more definition, I'm going to go into the shade called Stone, which is a few shades deeper than the shade that I started with, which is called Mesh. So Stone here, just a little bit deeper. I would say 2 to 3 shades darker. Still that same kind of grayish stone, kind of pebble type of shade that is cool tone. And I'm going to use a little bit of that with the same brush. And I'm going to just continue defining my crease and adding a little bit more color. I'm going to add a little bit of warmth to my crease with some of the peachy tones. I'm going to switch to the BK Beauty 211, which is more of a wispy crease brush. So you have 2 different tones of peach. Wit, which is a little bit lighter and just a touch brighter. Vague, which is in the top row, second to last eyeshadow, is a little bit more of a deeper, more rich peach tone. So I'm going to use a little bit of Wit first. And I chose a brush that's kind of light and wispy because I want to create like a peachy light border around all the cool tones. And I love how the peach tones work with the cool tones in this palette. I feel like it's just such a beautiful combination of shades and undertones. I'm going to go back into that fair shade that I used to set my primer with the same brush that I used initially, which is a flat eyeshadow brush. That's going to be my brow bone highlight, and it's going to help perfect the edge of that peachy shade. I'm switching to a BK Beauty 210 brush, and I'm going to use the same combination of Stone and Mesh for my lower lash line. So I'm just going to take my brush and just dip it right into both of the shades together and just sort of mix it. Then to add a little bit more depth to my lower lashes, I'm going to go right next door to Mesh to the shade called Tender. This one is several shades darker and a little bit more brown into it, not as gray, but still kind of cool tone, but more brown. And I'm going to use the same brush, the 210, and I'm going to go right over those shades on my lower lash line. It's going to deepen everything up. With a pencil brush, this is the MAC 219. I'm going to use the shade called Wit to blend out the lower lash line, so that's that brighter peach. You could use the darker peach if you wanted to, but the bright peach, I feel like, adds a little bit more color, and it helps kind of smoke out and blend right underneath. And I love these colors together. So pretty. Okay, now we're going to add some color to the lids. And you have so many options. You can do something bronzy and smoky, something more cool tone. You can use some of these topper shades. There's 2 of them down here at the bottom row. I mean, the options are endless. But I think I'm going to use a little bit of Travertine, which is this really pretty kind of smoky bronzy taupe shade. It's the last color in the top row. And then I'm making sure that I'm using the edge of my finger to bring that color right into the crease to meet up with all those eyeshadows. So I don't really have to bring in a brush because this is just going to be super easy and like a soft kind of cool tone with a little bit of peach going on look for the day. Then I want to elevate this just a little bit to show you the beauty of these toppers. You have 2. This one at the bottom called Sheen and Maya. Sheen is a little bit more of a peachy kind of nudish type shade, and then Maya is the one that's a little bit more of a pink with a bit of coolness to it. So you can really take this any direction. I'm going to go in with Sheen because I feel like it plays well with the undertone of the Travertine, and I'm going to use the same finger to apply it. I'm just going to tap right over the Travertine, and it's just going to add a little bit more sparkle but a very sophisticated light sparkle. You could intensify it by using your brush, slightly dampened with a little bit of Fix Plus, setting spray, whatever you've got, you can use to dampen your brush, and it'll create a more kind of wet look. This is just going to be a kind of like a softer take on that shimmery kind of glittery eye by using just your finger to apply it, and I'm going right over travertine. The final thing for the lower lash line is to add a little bit of the dark brown. Silhouette is the deepest shade in the palette, and it is a matte dark brown, really rich and beautiful. And I'm going to use a BK Beauty 204 smudgy type brush to apply that really close to the root of my lashes, and I'm only going to do it about halfway or so. I will be tightlining with the Super Black Master Pro Pigment Pencil from Makeup by Mario. And I will be using my Victoria Beckham Satin Kajal liner in Cocoa. This is a beautiful, creamy, rich chocolate brown that is matte. There's no sheen or shimmer to this. And I'm just going to do a quick line following the natural shape of my eye, really close to the root of my lash. Lastly, Tower 28 Make Waves Mascara. I have been using this a lot. Mine is about to go to an empties. I think today is my last day that I can stretch it out. I have not put this mascara down since I started using it about 2 months ago, and I should have ordered a backup. So I'm going to finish my eyes by doing 2 really good coats of this mascara, and then I'll meet you back to show you the full face. And this is the full completed face, so you can see everything together. I went ahead and did my lip and my blush. Everything that I'm wearing will be listed, including all the products that I shared with you today. They're going to be listed and linked for you in the description box in case you're interested. The complexion products were the previous week's Best in Beauty series, so this week is focusing on the eye products. So I wanted to do a demo showing you my favorite palette of the year in action to do a very quick, simple look that is truly easy, beautiful, and it's incredibly easy to work with these formulas. It's A+ top shelf for me, and I'm so happy to have this palette in my collection, and I hope if you try it based off of my recommendations that it will be one of your favorites as well, and that it works out for you. And I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. I appreciate you so much for being here, and if you have questions about anything, let me know. I love hearing from you guys. Check out the description box for all the products. You can follow me on Instagram. It always pops up here on the screen. I look forward to connecting with you there and being friends. Stay tuned for the next part, which is going to be Best in Beauty for lip products. And I've got lots of favorites and great products to share. So hit the subscribe button and notification bell so you get notified when that video gets posted. And I hope you're doing well. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you very soon. Bye-bye.